I'm a private realtor. I've been renting apartments since I graduated from university. The other morning, I found the advertisement, urgent apartment for rent. I immediately called the number and the male voice answered. If you can help me rent an apartment quickly, I'll be very grateful to you. I thought it would be a great deal. Nice neighborhood, new building. The owner asked my advice. How much can I rent the apartment for? I was surprised that the man did not offer his inadequately inflated price. He agreed to everything. He didn't care who rented the apartment to. Is it possible with children? Yes. And with animals? I don't care. The main thing is to rent it quickly. The man wasn't the only owner of the apartment. He had a wife, and when I went to see their apartment, the woman said, I don't want people to live here after us. They started fighting right in front of me. The husband yelled, You have to get money from somewhere, or I'm going to work 3 jobs and you're going to lie there all day crying? The wife replied while bursting in tears, Do you want others to suffer? They argued for a while. Then she apologized to me for the scandal. It seemed to me that these two were grief-stricken, walking shaggy-haired with red eyes. It was clear that something had happened to them. They were experiencing some kind of tragedy. I didn't ask questions. We only talked business. Okay, do whatever you want. I'd like to get out of here as soon as possible. I can't stay here anymore, said the woman. The man hugged his wife and said to me, I have a favor to ask. Only show the apartment building today. Don't bring clients here late at night. We're leaving today. We'll give you the keys, but still, don't bring anyone here in the evening. Deal, I said without even asking why. His wife turned to me. I have a request for you too. When someone rents the apartment, make sure you warn people to always lock the door at night. Make sure they lock the door when they go to bed. Is there something wrong with the neighbors? I clarified. No, just tell them to lock the door at night. Okay, fine. I will, I promised. At dinner that evening, I was thinking about these two people. Why were they so blue? I knew a few facts about them. Young spouses, no children, they both were deeply depressed. This apartment reminded them of a close relative, so they wanted to get away. They must have lost someone close to them, maybe a child. The woman said to tell to lock the door at night, a rather odd request. Maybe they forgot to lock the door and someone came in and kidnapped the baby? One thing was clear to me. There was something fishy going on. Well, the main scene is to rent the apartment and get paid. I started getting calls right away, so I set up showing for the next day. I thought I might get lucky and close the place right away. The clients were also a young couple, a guy in his 30s and a girl a little younger. They, unlike the owners, were visibly happier, probably were preparing to live separately from their parents for the first time. Looks like a nice apartment. It would be cozy, said the guy and looked at the girl. How about you? The girl wrinkled her nose. I don't know. Why not? There's a park nearby, and it's not far out of the center. Spacious room, big window, just like you wanted. Yeah, but the energy here is bad, the girl admitted. It's depressing. I feel like I'm in a sanitary. I don't think I could live in this apartment. Oh, you and the energy. Okay, I get it. The guy looked at me guiltily. You're sorry we took up your time. My girlfriend says the apartment isn't right for us. She's very sensitive. I sighed and lowered the shoulders, not to impose on them. As soon as they left, I got another call from the AD. The man said he was ready to rent even today, but he was ready to see the apartment only after 10 p.m. I remembered my promise not to show the apartment to 9, but I couldn't agree to her schedule because it was inconvenient for him. Let him come, I thought, hoping for an easy deal. I'd show it quickly, shake hands, and then we'd be off. I came to the apartment for the second time in a day. It was already dark. The house was quiet. No noise from the neighbors. It was nice, but it was not pleasant to be there for some reason. At that moment, I remember what the girl said. That energy, like a graveyard. And she was right about something. When the client came in, I put on a smile, tried to make it look everything in the best possible way. He was a man in his 40s, single, no ring on his finger. In my experience, they're not too fussy. But this one wasn't hesitant for some reason. He wanted to rent this place so badly, and now my presentation just nodded and said, I see. I tried to present everything in the best possible way, and then I asked, shall we draw up a contract? I'll think about it, he replied. It was clear from his tone that he was not going to rent this apartment. There's lots of demand for this space, I warned him. I still have a few more options. Sorry, I need to think about it. The man was already looking at the door. Well, let him go. There'll be tenants without him. I didn't try to persuade him anymore, and he left. I hoped that I was just unlucky with my clients and would soon find someone who would be satisfied. It was already 10 p.m. I went to the restroom before leaving, and suddenly I heard the front door handle twitching as if someone was trying to open it. Wait a minute, I shouted. I quickly washed my hands and walked out of the restroom, and the doorknob was still jingling. I stopped after a second. It's weird that guy used to the doorbell last time, and now he's just banging on the door like a crazy person. Maybe it wasn't him. I looked through the pinhole, and there was no one there. I felt a pang of fear in my chest. As a good thing, I closed the door when the customer left. I'd been asked not to show the apartment late at night. Now I realized there was a reason for that. After sitting in the apartment a little longer, I went out into the entryway, looked around, and walked from there, hardly able to keep from running like a kid in a dark room. I'd rented apartments where the furnishings were even worse, and the price was higher, but it wasn't being abandoned. Another afternoon showing went badly. 2 students came in. They didn't like something either. On my way out, I met a girl sitting on the stairs and holding her hat, a pose that doesn't mean anything other than I wouldn't want to go on living. I couldn't pass by asked, Hello, is something wrong? The girl looked at me, her eyes reddened with tears. I sat down next to her on the steps. I really wanted to help. Difficulties in the family. I have difficulties everywhere. Leave me alone. I don't need support, the girl told me. It's hard for everyone now. We have to keep doing what we can do. I was choosing my words. I'd be a paid psychologist. My time is over, the girl said. We're all going to die. What? How old are you to say that? 24. I'm 30, and I don't think my time has passed. Girl, back off. I already said I don't need your support. I got up off the step and suddenly walked away. What a bunch of people in this house. I'm already depressed about this house. I'd sooner give up my apartment and never come here again. The next day, I got a call from a woman who said she was ready to see the apartment in the evening, closer to 9. Again in the evening? Are they in cahoots? But since no one else called, I had to go back to the house again in the evening. I didn't want to go there. It's a place where people fall into deep despondency, with the doorknob twitches by itself when there's no one at the door. I looked at my watch. 10 minutes stretched like an hour. I waited and waited. While I was waiting, another woman called and said she had a child and needed an apartment urgently. This time we agreed in the morning. The time was already approaching 10:30, and the woman still didn't show up. I had to call and ask where she was. Forgive me, I forgot to tell you. I came to this house and I did not like it immediately. I did not even go in, turn around and that. I'm sorry. How responsible, I told her and hung up. And then I thought, why am I trying to rent out this apartment where I would want to live? I've often had to hide flaws in the apartments so I could rent them out and get my money. And tomorrow, a girl with a child will come and I'll also praise this apartment where the atmosphere is like a cemetery. Where am I going to go? I'll tell you how nice it is here, near a park, kindergarten. I'll keep silent about the fact that the people here are depressed and going crazy. I won't say that something happens at night in the entrance. I felt like such an asshole. My plans for the future ruined. No dream I had anymore. Myself only working to pay the bills. I felt homesick and depressed. I guess that's what this place could be doing to me. I didn't have the energy to pack and drive, and I would have to drive here again tomorrow. So I decided to stay in the apartment until morning. I turned off the light and lay on the couch without undressing. My thoughts grew darker and darker, and I had never felt so miserable. I wanted to cry, thinking it would make me feel better. The front door handle twitched in the darkness. Had I closed it when I got there? I don't remember. I don't think so. The apartment was burning by the light from the entryway, and someone came into the hallway. I heard footsteps. I looked at the door. I was scared. I've never been so afraid of anything in my life as the unknown. Came into the apartment wasn't a person. It was something horrible. Something black appeared on the doorstep. It was as a thin skeleton, like a starving man. It stood on thin legs, and long outgrowths were sticking out of its body from all sides, whether they were many arms or black tentacles. He came closer, and I didn't think to escape. I fell asleep on the couch in the presence of the monster. My eyes went dark, and everything around me went silent. I was surrounded by emptiness, and then someone came into the room. I heard everything, but I didn't understand. Two people took me in their arms and put me on the stretcher. They did it silently, like robots. They carried me out of the entrance, loaded me into the car. I thought it must be a corpse truck, and they were taking me to the morgue. But I felt completely indifferent to my fate. They brought me in, put me on a cold table, stood me in completely in silence. I prepared myself to endure the chest opening, even knowing that I didn't want to disturb the morgue workers. Let them cut me open, let it kill me. I was slid and locked in a cooler I could no longer see. I got very cold, maybe hypothermia. Well, so be it. Some more time passed. I was moved out again. It didn't move. I was dressed in some kind of short and pants, moved into the wooden box and covered with the lid. It was dark again. I was being taken in a car and heard the sound of the engine. Then the creak of the gate. I was brought to the cemetery. I heard them lowering me to the ground on the ropes, and then covering me with earth. I don't owe anyone anything anymore. No one will bother me anymore. I don't have to feel or think about anything anymore. It's all behind me. I had trouble waking up. It was morning. I was lying in my shoes on the couch, and there was a girl standing in front of me with a little baby. I sat up. My heart was beating hard. It was a dream. Are you right in this apartment? The door was completely open. Is everything okay? I was embarrassed. I am on someone else's couch like this. I'm sorry, I replied, and decided I would tell it like it was. Don't rent this apartment. You don't need to live here. I was having a nightmare, but I knew that the overnight guest was definitely there. It was still real. There's a horror in this house. That's why the people living in this house are slowly going crazy. Why shouldn't we live here? Believe me, it's a bad apartment. It's a bad house, I'm telling you. You can't live here, especially with a baby. Look for another apartment. The girl looked at the room, wrinkling her forehead. She seemed to already feel that something was wrong here. Well, thanks for your honesty, she said and pulled the girl by the hand. Come on, daughter, it's time for kindergarten. I went out and locked the apartment, threw the keys into the mailbox, then called the owner. I told him about it, apologized for not being able to find clients for this apartment. He said, fine, my wife's right, no one should live there. Let his house go under the ground. I got behind the wheel. I wanted to get away from there. The bad thoughts made me feel bad, but I told myself, it's gonna be okay. I'll get through this.